This idea kind of came to me as I was listening to musicals, because I love musicals a lot. Basically what I wanted to do was create a series of videos where each video has a theme of a musical, and I would give myself questions or prompts and answer with book recommendations. So the first musical is The Lightning Thief, which is very basic, but I feel like that's a good introduction for like the book community, because I know not everybody likes musicals. So I'll start off with The Lightning Thief. And yes, this Lightning Thief, and yes, it has a musical, and yes, it is really great. So I'm not gonna read off the summary for The Lightning Thief because I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know what Percy Jackson is about, but I will say that the musical is very accurate to the book and it's not trash like the movies, so please give the musical a shot. It's super good. Another thing I wanted to say is that the actor for Grover is Filipino, and I actually had the privilege of watching this musical live, and it was the original cast except for Grover, but the person that took the role was also Filipino, and I thought that was really awesome because I'm Filipino. So I think I have like 7 or 8 questions. I think in the future I'm probably gonna have less, but I wanted to start off strong. So the first question is a book cover that matches the poster for The Lightning Thief. The book I chose for this is Bang by Barry Lyga. So this story is about a kid who accidentally killed his sister with his father's gun when he was 4 years old. The story takes place 10 years later, and it just talks about his guilt and him struggling to accept what he did in the past. It's not a book that I rave about often, but it's a book that I really enjoyed. It's really short and it's not as thought-provocative as I expected or wanted it to be, but I think it does bring up the discussion of gun violence and gun safety. Book with Gods, not by Rick Riordan because that is cheating. So, Trail of Lightning, bonus because it says the word lightning in it. This is Rebecca's debut novel, and it's a series about this post-apocalyptic world with Native American gods. There's gods and monsters and humans with clan powers, and the main character is one of those humans, and she is a monster slayer. One day she discovers this new type of monster that is bigger and stronger, and she takes it upon herself to find out what's wrong and to stop it. There is no romance in this novel. Thank God. Complicated. It's complicated, but basically, there's no romance in this novel. I really like the storytelling of this book. Even though there's like a lot of post-apocalyptic novels out there that are super popular, I feel like the storytelling for this one was different. It's just the way that the story is told and the things that the main character experiences as a character and the places that she goes to. I just think it was like really cool and really interesting. There's a place in particular that I'm thinking about, and it was sort of like a fighting rink. Just the place and the atmosphere was just so intriguing to me. I also really liked how the author incorporated gods into this story. Like in Percy Jackson, for example, the gods are almighty and they stay up in the sky in their little Mount Olympus, and they just watch as demigods fuck around and do their little chores for them. In the Trail of Lightning, it's sort of different. It's different in the sense that some of the gods have created these relationships with humans and are actually like part of some of their societies. And again, my example would be like the fighting rink, but I don't want to like spoil the book, so I'm just not going to elaborate on what I mean by gods being part of the society. A book with a distant or absent parent. That one's for Poseidon because fuck Poseidon. I feel like everyone expects me to say starfish, but I'm not going to say starfish. But if I was gonna say starfish, I would say that is a perfect answer for this question. Instead, my answer is the book Everything I Never Told You. This book is a perfect example of a full house that feels empty. Basically what I mean by that is, here's a family that lives together, but they're so distant with each other and they don't communicate that it feels like you're living alone. Lydia is a biracial Chinese-American teen living in Ohio in the 70s. She's found dead in a lake, and we don't know if it's suicide or if someone murdered her. The story follows her and her life and her relationship with her parents and siblings and their lives, which all leads up to her death. The story is really just about a sad, broken family, and it's all because of lack of communication. Hence the title, Everything I Never Told You. The title can also be interpreted for other reasons, but I think that's one of the reasons. I also really love this book because it kind of just like gave the audience insight on what it's like living with internal racism. The internal racism isn't resolved in the book, but it gives insight on how deep hatred for yourself negatively dictates your happiness and dictates your life, basically. God, the ending of this book was just, it really hit me. It's one of those endings that I just think about sometimes, because it's like, wow. A book with betrayal that shocked you. So the reason why I chose this question is because the betrayal in The Lightning Thief shocked me, and if it didn't shock you, that's fine, but it shocked me. But the book is Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaeffer. The betrayal in Not Even Bones was not expected. I don't know. I wasn't expecting it, so I don't know. This is a dark, bloody fantasy about a girl who sells body parts of magical beings on the black market with her mother. Hashtag family bonding. Until one day, her mom asks her to kill a live specimen, and the main character, Nita, can't do it. And so Nita frees the prisoner, and her mom sells her on the black market instead. I never understood the appeal for morally gray characters until this book. I swear to God, until this book. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. This is one of my favorite books, and the fact that I don't talk about it as obnoxiously as John Cleaver and Starfish or The Poppy War is a crime, and I'm super sorry about that, and I promise you I will talk about it more often. So we are down to the last 3 questions, and they are inspired by the 3 main characters in The Lightning Thief. So, a book for Poseidon. Shithead. Hades is better. Anyways, Poseidon. Easy. Water, right? Yeah. So the book I chose for this is BioShock Rapture. This book takes place in an underwater utopia called Rapture. It is literally the most prettiest thing you will ever see. This book is a prequel to my favorite gaming series, BioShock. There's a lot of like lore and politics and history to explain, so I'm not gonna go in depth explaining what the book is about, but basically after World War II, this really rich guy named Andrew Ryan wanted to create a utopia free from government and censorship and free from morality restrictions for science. The book follows the building of Rapture and then the corruption and the eventual fall of Rapture, which then leads up to the beginning of the game. I really love this gaming series. And I'm not supposed to talk too much about it because it's basically just going to be gaming rambling and nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about. But I love this game so much that I'm like on and off writing an essay analyzing themes and stuff from the game. The game explores ethics and free will and the ideal self and societal standards and expectations, which connects to hypermasculinity and femininity. Is that a word? Yes, it is. I just don't know how to say it. Femininity. You know what I mean. And also manipulative propaganda. Oh my god, I'm never gonna shut up about this game. And exploiting children for labor and experiments. This game is a lot, and if any of my rambling right there interests you, I highly suggest that you either play this game or watch a walkthrough on YouTube. A book for Pan. So, I figured this was like something related to Earth or something that involved plants, and the book I chose is a very odd choice, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. This book is about this disgusting man who kidnaps women and tattoos very large butterfly wings on their backs and hides them in his garden by his very big mansion. The story starts with one of the survivors being interviewed by the FBI, and she tells this scattered story about herself, her past, and the garden. This book surprised me in so many ways. It truly just sparked an interest in like thrillers, specifically serial killer books. Just the way that they described and built up the tension and just like the creativity in what the serial killer was doing with them, and just It's a great book. I truly enjoyed it. Trigger warning for canon typical violence and torture, because this is a serial killer book, so I mean, it's kind of disgusting. Let's continue to the very last one. A book for Athena. Something clever. I was like thinking to myself, and I'm like, well, clever can mean a lot of things, whether it's in storytelling or like a clever character or just something that you deem clever. And I have two answers to this question because I will explain it in a bit. So my first answer is the book More Than This. This book is not at all what you think it's going to be about. It's like an absolute mindfuck. It's a very gay Black Mirror or Love, Death, and Robots-esque mindfuckery kind of a story. And as someone who has read it, I'm legally not allowed to tell you more about this book because honestly, it's a really good experience if you just start reading without knowing what the fuck it's gonna be about. I will say one sentence though, because you might be completely disinterested in this book, and I want you to read it. A boy drowns and he wakes up in his old neighborhood and it's deserted. That's it. Why is it deserted? You gotta read to find out. And since I didn't want to elaborate on that book, I decided that I would have another recommendation just to make up for it. Young Avengers 2013. I read this a long time ago, but it still stuck with me because it made me realize that just the creativity and art is just like, the comics like inspired me. I was like, wow, artists. So this is a Marvel comic that is super popular within the comic community. It follows 6 main characters. There's Wiccan, the Hulkling, Kate Bishop, who will be playing Hawkeye in the new series that apparently Jeremy Renner is gonna be in, and Kid Loki and America Chavez. I have a jacket. I painted this jacket for a homecoming parade because I was on a float and I don't know why I decided to be on the float. Stupid. School spirit. Look how like kick-ass this jacket is. And I have a little rainbow flag here because America Chavez is queer. So yeah, it's a superhero story, but it's clever in a funny, meta, self-aware kind of way. It reminds me of Deadpool and Spider-Verse, but Tumblr-y. If that doesn't make any sense to you, I will explain. Here is one of the pages. I will leave space. This particular page has stayed with me even though it's been like 5 years, and I cannot stop thinking about the creativity in this. It's self-aware of the fact that there is a generic way that comic book panels are made, and it utilizes it in such a creative way in their storytelling that I can't stop thinking about it. Like, it's just so brilliant. And there's a bunch of stuff similar to this that the creators do within the series that just blows my mind and just really appreciates creativity, and it reminds me that there's like artists out there who really want to break out of the mold. Also, Young Avengers is gay and racially diverse, so y'all should read it. Okay, so that is the end of this video. Hopefully this was enjoyable and not crap. Also, before I end, I have like this tendency to end all of my videos with me rambling about something that I really like. So I guess for this one, okay y'all, hear me out. Just listen. Batman vs. Superman is kind of a good movie. Yes, I think it might be a little out of character, but I really like when superhero films explore the way society would act to the fact that they exist. Is a really interesting thing to do. I see it in Watchmen, I see it in The Boys, and of course X-Men. And you kind of see it here in Batman vs. Superman. That's Superman right there. Henry Cavill is the perfect Superman, and I'm gonna cry. If they replace him, I'm gonna be so upset. And I've been moping for like 2 months already. If you like DC Comics and you didn't like this movie, give it another watch. Watch the extended version. You know, just really think about it, because I used to hate it and now I love it. And yeah, okay, bye!